So when a potential client decides they want to outsource some of their software and they engage us, the first thing we do is set up a meeting to get to know them and their project, understand their requirements, and how our skill set matches with their needs. It's very important for us to get as much information in that meeting as possible, because then we can prepare an accurate proposal for the project. So the proposal describes the scope of the project, including the timeline, budget requirements, and all of the phases that we intend to apply to the project. Once the proposal is agreed to, we provide the services agreement, and the proposal becomes the statement of work. Once this is done, we can move on to our kickoff meeting.
Once we have a new project, we meet with the client and a kickoff. We'll introduce the developers, the quality engineer, the project manager, and if needed, a regulatory manager. On the client side, they'll have their project manager and their technical team. We also make sure that both sides of the team understands the requirements, the timeline, as well as we'll set cadence for future meetings. We like to be transparent with the client so they're able to see the sprint board, they're able to see the progress in each ticket, and in Confluence they're able to see the developer area, the requirements, all the design history files will be there. We like to have weekly meetings with the client so we can provide our status. At the status meetings, we will demonstrate the development of the software, and the client will get to see the UI or the web app. So before we merge a release in order to get it to the test engineer, we go through a process. First, we have the developers do unit tests, and then we have 2 independent code reviewers, either from the project or from the company. Then it will be merged into a build for the test engineer. He'll test it against the test procedures that he has written from the requirements. But more importantly, ad hoc testing is where he breaks the software. We actually want him to break it because we want to provide the most robust software that we can to the client. Once the release has been shown not to have any anomalies, we provide it to the client for them to review. Every project needs a final V&V, especially going through FDA. We will have a final test report that has been written from the traceability matrix and the requirements. In this test report, it'll show that every test has passed. Once that client software is in production, we'll continue to support the client as needed. We want to make sure we're there for anything that they need, if it's the next revision or any changes that they have. It is important for us to continue the communication and the relationship throughout the entire life cycle of the product.